Dear Mother, do you think that if we changed our name from the Wayward Watch to the Stalwart Sentinels, we'd find ourselves getting in less trouble? After our close call with those half-giant bodyguards of Braff Greenwoods, you would think we'd learn to be more careful. Like the responsible matriarch she is, Jan Jin sent us all to our rooms to lie low while the guards made their rounds. Darian and I stretched out on the floor of my room, and my communication ring began to emit that ever-recognizable Lady Crestor lilac scent. She sent us a message, suggesting we keep a low profile as the Arcanum were looking for a group of 5. She said she'd tried to pull some strings. It is nice to have friends with such connections, powers, and clout. We all puttered about for the next several days. Bolt and Victor helped Jan Jin around the inn. She made them both wear aprons as they worked to stay clean. Bolt's apron was a nice leather, but Victor must have lost a bet because I saw him scrubbing floors while wearing a pink frilly apron that sported heart-shaped pockets on the front. Seredan spent some time hanging out at the Dreary Lady looking for signs of Braff. Ezra made a visit to the public bathhouse and heard some talk about the upcoming vote for the High House seat. It seems to be all anyone can talk about around Terrebonne. I took Darian on a ride outside of the gates and paid a visit to Ivan. He and the Tempered Requiem have been camped outside of Terrebonne since we first arrived. Darian trotted to a stop and was immediately mauled by adoring children. They took turns crawling up his back and swinging from his antlers. He was in heaven. I found Ivan pounding away at an anvil. He was a bit surprised to see me, but kindly took a break from his work to chat. He told me more about his purpose in Terrebonne. He and his people have been contracted by House Rakshim to provide additional security for the election. Tensions between the houses are high, and it is anticipated that things could turn ugly if the outcome of the election does not favor certain houses. It seems that no matter what part of the world you find yourself in, the proud and self-serving desires of others are inescapable. I admire Ivan. He is a great leader, trusted and loved by those he has been called to serve. When I was nominated as the leader of our group, I felt immediately inadequate. Seredan seems a more natural fit. She has experience in the military. Her skills in a fight outshine us all. Or Ezra with his years of practice in learning grit as a Tushan warrior. Victor was raised by the prime of the Ruby Wing. Having lived with such a leader would surely lend to being a great leader himself. And Bolt. They have more years of life experience than all of us. They would undoubtedly make a better head of the Wayward Watch than I. I asked Ivan for his advice on how I might improve. He suggested I listen to the ideas of my comrades and use it to provide flavor to my own plans. I must ponder his advice and look for ways to improve. The morning after my visit with Ivan, Ezra was paid a visit by one of the workers from the Dreary Lady. It was the Goliath woman who had given Ezra a massage when we met with Gwen last week. Helga was a wreck. She was pacing back and forth, wringing her hands, pleading for Ezra's help with her friend Fenry, who had gone missing. Supposedly, Fenry had helped with Ezra's massage, but Ezra has no recollection of her. In fact, no one can remember Fenry but Helga. Helga had been with a red-bearded dwarf, and Fenry with another man. When they left, Fenry was gone, and an emblem had been left behind. She showed us the emblem, which displayed the symbol of the infinite sight. My heart dropped into my stomach when I saw that symbol. It seems time magic is to blame for Fenry's disappearance. This time magic terrifies me, Mother. Imagine if the infinite sight erased you from existence. I don't know who I would be without you. Helga described Fenry to us, a very fit half-orc with pale skin and shining blue eyes. She remembered that the red-bearded dwarf had spicy, fishy breath. Ezra promised Helga that he would do everything he could to find Fenry, and We made our way to the Greenwood House warehouse at the docks. The address for the warehouse was on the edge of the Tremecules. The docks were buzzing with sailors, loading and unloading various boats and barges. Seagulls squawked and stalked from the sky looking for an easy meal below. There were rows and rows of food stalls, with cooks loudly boasting their offerings. We pushed our way through the crowd as Victor suddenly stopped us. He caught the strong scent of spices on the wind. He carefully weaved through the throng and found a large Edequathan stirring the most delicious-smelling pot of gumbo. The Edequathan, who was wearing a giant white apron, smiled a friendly, toothy grin as we approached his food stall. Sere made up a story about looking for her Da and described the red-bearded dwarf Helga had told us to look for. The Edequathan nodded and said he sees the dwarf frequently and directed us to the warehouse across the way. We approached the warehouse and peeked through the windows inside. It was filled with shipping boxes. Some had been opened and emptied. Others looked like they hadn't been touched. A door inside the warehouse opened, and the red-headed dwarf emerged. We quickly came up with a plan. Sere and Ezra would sneak into the warehouse and do some poking around. Victor would stand as watch. Bolt and I made our way back to the gumbo stall. The dwarf, whose name we learned is Mash, is not very bright. He exited the warehouse and got himself a big bowl of gumbo. As he sat down, Bolt and I struck up a conversation with him. It was immediately clear he was little more than a minion for the Infinite Sight. Definitely not a mastermind of anything. We acted mostly as a distraction for Mash, as Sere and Ezra did some investigating in the warehouse. They found that the boxes stored in the warehouse had been shipped from the Ruby Oasis. While rummaging through the boxes, they saw a man in robes enter a vault door on one side of the warehouse. After he left, they carefully crept to the door. They discovered that the door opened only when the token Helga had found was presented, and they entered the vault. Meanwhile, Bolt and I were still engaged with Mash over gumbo when Victor appeared. He told Mash that he had won a raffle drawing and provided him with a map to collect his prize. Mother, this Mash fellow really is daft. There is no raffle, yet he gladly took Victor's word for it and rushed gleefully away. Victor quickly ushered us into the warehouse, explaining that Sere and Ezra had entered the vault, the door closing behind them. This is just like Sere, Mother. While I love everything about Sere, her tenacity and bravery in particular, walking into a locked vault in a warehouse used by the Infinite Sight, a group who nearly killed all of us the last time we met and meddled with all of our memories and Ezra's past, she makes me crazy sometimes. As we stood outside the vault door, a loud bell sound rang from within the vault. Bolt quickly rummaged through their bag of holding and found the Infinite Sight emblem we had collected from the scarab we had defeated in Willow Creek Hollow. They held it up to the vault door, and as it opened, we rushed in. The room was quite large. In the middle, 3 large amber crystals hovered above the ground. Inside each of the crystals were 3 humanoids. The first contained a halfling, the second a human, and the third was Fenry. As we entered, we were greeted by another monstrous scarab. All at once, Victor hit the scarab with his dagger, Sere hit it with her glaive, Ezra hit it with an arrow, and I threw out my javelin, which erupted in red light, searing the scarab with rays of fire. Sere engulfed the scarab in her darkness. It tried attacking Sere, but she managed to dodge out of the way. Bolt ran into Sere's darkness and coated the monster in his rusty red magic. Arrows and daggers were flying through the air, and we were able to quickly dispose of the beetle, but not before it let off another loud ringing sound to warn of intruders. As the scarab fell to the ground, the vault door opened, revealing 3 members of the Infinite Sight. Bolt threw out one of his traps, and 2 of the 3 cult members became trapped in it. This made for easy disposal of our enemies. Sere dropped one to the ground, while Bolt whipped the other with their chain. I hopped on Darian's back and he charged forward, impaling the cult member that Bolt had captured in their chain. Victor threw his cloak around the final enemy, restraining him. On the ground of the warehouse, I drew a circle, with the symbol of the trio in the middle of it, a fang, a talon, and a claw. Victor pushed the man into the center of the ring, and I commanded him to tell us the truth. Bolt studied the amber crystals and found that the people within had been pulled out of time. I cannot say it enough, Mother. Time magic frightens me. We turned our attention back to the terrified cult member. He repeated over and over again that they were going to kill him. I don't know what overcame me, Mother, but I was filled to the brim with anger and fear and directed all of those feelings toward this poor man. I demanded answers and threatened to kill him. He finally, though reluctantly, revealed that the Infinite Sight was helping House Greenwood gain control and power by assisting them in winning the upcoming House High Seat election. As payment for their help, House Greenwood had promised the Infinite Sight freedom to move about the city as they wish. Darian killed the leader of the group during the fight, but I am sure there will be more cult members to replace the ones we've killed today. Bolt and Ezra managed to break apart one of the amber crystals. A gnome fell to the ground, and we watched as he instantly aged 10 years. How can the Infinite Sight reconcile the damage they do to their victims? A cut will heal with time, but taking away 10 years of someone's life, or erasing their very existence entirely? Their victims seem to be innocent bystanders. The actions of the Infinite Sight are unforgivable in my eyes. Victor slipped out of the warehouse just before the Arcanum arrived. He left to meet Mash, the red-headed dwarf, planning to take him back to Lady Crestor. We released our prisoner into the Arcanum's custody. They were able to dispel the magic effects of the crystals and began healing those who had been encapsulated in the amber, including Fenry. Helga will be so pleased to see her friend again. I'm with Fenry now, making sure she recovers and can be reunited with Helga soon. The others followed behind Victor to meet with Lady Crestor. I am certain my next letter will be filled with more trouble. Expect nothing less. Love, Eve.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tales of Aneria Session 18.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. Session 7.
I have to get it wrong.
Time magic. Screws everyone up.
Everybody who remembers wrong. That's where the Mandela effect came from.
Exactly. It's from here. It's from the Infinite Sight screwing with the timeline.
Stinking Berenstain Bears! Should have been Mandela was the big bad, and he's the one that's over all of it.
Yep. I screwed up. I understand that now.
Hey,
Torrey is not here with us
maybe
tonight.
the bad guy has an anagram of the name.
That's true.
Somebody in the comments, what is the anagram for Thulian Crawl? Like, come up with a good one.
Julian Squat.
But yeah, Torrey is not here tonight. She is doing the weird real life stuff. Whatever. Yeah. But
anti-nerd.
We will soldier on without her. Last time you guys heard the recap. Pretty crazy ending to last session. I think it's pretty fair that we don't jump right back into it. We go back to the rest of the party, which is currently on their way to Lady Crestor's house. And that's where you said that you would meet up with Victor once it was done. And Eve has wandered off to assist with the woman that you saved, the maiden that you saved, just to make sure that she wakes up and gets back where she belongs. Kind of keep an eye on the Arcanum, and she is side-eyeing that captured Infinite Sight member a little bit, because she was pretty wicked last time. Like she was bad cop, and that's a little odd. In fact, I wanted to ask Seredan, as Eve's self-proclaimed best friend, what does Seredan kind of think of what happened last time? How's she feeling?
Sarah is feeling very... I think there's a mix of emotions. She's feeling guilt, actually, and like frustration and like maybe some anger with herself, I think, and like a little bit of nervousness and fear.
Okay. Fear about what?
She's feeling like, you know, there was a time when, it was several sessions ago, but when and actually I think this might have been a conversation we had off camera.
Might have been.
That showed up in the recap, one of the recap letters, where Sarah had like this like big moment where the darkness, and she was like eating people basically, and you know what I mean, and
Crushing bunnies and turtles.
And Eve, we were like in my room, in Sarah's room, and she was like telling me that she was worried about me. And I was like, I'm fine. And in fact, like, you don't need to be afraid of the darkness. Like, darkness isn't like bad all the time. You know what I mean? Like, and it's given me this
good guys who are evil.
Yeah, it's given me this power to help us, you know, do good things and whatever justification. And I think by the end, Eve was like, okay, like, I see where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think Sarah is like replaying that conversation in her head, being like, based on, like you say, you know, at the end of when she was interrogating that Infinite Sight member, she was like, I think there was a line where she was like, he was afraid for his life, like, oh, I'm gonna die or they're gonna kill me, and she's like, well, we're gonna kill you, like, if you don't. And I think Sarah would have been like, whoa, that's not Eve. And like, she's just like I'm a bad influence on my friend, basically. You know what I mean?
It's like when you swear in front of a little kid, and the little kid says it back, and I go, oh crap.
Oh no. So
says you, I laugh.
That's why Scott's not around.
That's why I'm
So as you're kind of like pondering this, and it's starting to kind of gnaw away at your mind and maybe a little bit of your soul, you start getting flashes of what the choir said to you, right? Like that there's darkness and light, and they protect the balance between that. Yeah. And you start kind of thinking back to what they said about Aventhi. Mm-hmm. And you see that dark figure, that looming shadow, as you like cross by an alley. You quickly look out of the corner of your eye because you think you see him with his scythe standing there, but he's gone. And when you turn your head around, you're no longer in the streets of Terrebonne. You're once again in this cloudy mist with the voices of the choir kind of...
Did I disappear into the locket?
Yep. You're in Barovia.
We'll get to what actually happens in just a moment here. So... The choir, you're in Barovia now. I just heard that one. Delay, but you hear the choir kind of pick up again, and one of them steps forward, and they're not wearing a cloak. It looks like they're wearing more formal, like vestments, and a little bit more like priestly garb than you would expect. And they say in a much softer voice than any of the choir has ever spoken before. That says. You regret your descent into darkness.
Yeah. Okay. So Sarah, yeah, she'll sit there for a moment and get this, I think, sort of crestfallen look on her face, right? And maybe even like get a little teary-eyed, a little misty-eyed, and just say, Craggy, when we met, you told me that your aim was for balance in all things. And while I relish the power that you have given me, so far all I've seen is darkness. And I understand that perhaps that's more a reflection of my own inner demons. But I don't like what it's done to me. And I don't suppose that I've really realized quite how far I've fallen until I saw it reflected in my love. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? Did you see Evie just now? The way that she threatened that member of the Infinite Sight while she was interrogating him. She's always been perfectly capable of violence when called for, but I've never seen her vindictive like that. And I worry that perhaps I'm rubbing off on her in the wrong way. I feel that if I truly am to be the foil to Aventi, and he represents mostly darkness, I ought to be perhaps mostly light, shouldn't I? And yet, I'm continually drawn to the dark, and it's where I feel most powerful. It's where I feel most safe. But every day gets darker and darker, and I don't like it.
We cannot change who you are. We cannot change the power that you call upon and which direction you sway. We can only guide. However, if you are willing to sacrifice, we can nudge you in the right direction.
Ezra's not dying, is he?
Kill one of your friends, and you will have all the power of the light.
Commit this last evil deed for us.
Do you...
Sounds like something the light would say.
Are you saying that if I give something up, I might be able to find power in the light as well as the dark?
Yes. It will require a greater sacrifice than you might be willing to pay, though.
Would it harm someone that I love?
That depends. What you would require is to bind yourself to our cause fully. You would become our scion, our instrument of vengeance. And in exchange, when you pass, your soul will return to us rather than any other afterlife.
Damn. Part of the choir.
As a scion of vengeance, what exactly are we taking vengeance against?
Perhaps retribution against any who wish to harm others, wish to disturb the balance, would be a more apt description.
It's your first oath.
What?
Is that your first oath?
I mean, I don't know that
I
Sari
guess it's
was
your second oath.
particularly religious. I mean, I say that, yet I have this demigod as a patron. I don't know that I've thought too much about what her anticipation of an afterlife was going to be, right? Up until this moment. But that's...
Well, perhaps Sarah didn't even think about that either.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Spend more time living in the moment
yeah.
rather than
She's what? I mean, young for an elf, right?
Yeah.
So
50 something.
it's like, oh, that's like
40-something.
hundreds of years away.
yeah, I'm invincible right now. Nothing can hurt me.
Better not die, because that would suck for your soul. It's like this session.
Well, I suppose it wouldn't be me if I didn't make a decision impulsively. If it means that I can better protect those that I love without leading them down a path that I don't want them to go down, then it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Your willingness is commendable, but this does have to be done in stages, so feel free to give it more thought. But if you want, we can begin the first process now. And as she says it, the mist kind of like lifts you up into the air, and she says, fair warning, it will be quite painful.
What's Wesley's line? It's right, I can handle torture.
And she closes her fist, and your body begins to just like become racked with pain. There's no like physical sensation. It's like your entire being is being twisted and shaped and reshaped. So this is and this is getting into the mechanics of it. This is a -2 to your wisdom and constitution scores, but a +4 to your strength, because we had to do a little bit of rejigging to get you to be able to take your level 6 multi-class. Right. Which, why don't you go ahead and describe that now?
So I took a level in Paladin. And yeah, I've been talking about Cory. I've been talking with Cory about some mechanical challenges that I had, because that was my plan from the beginning, but I failed to.
Strength was a dump.
I failed to watch my own video before creating.
Which
the
you
character.
can watch here. We don't do cards.
And forgot the whole multi-classing. Keep in mind the attributes that you're going to need thing. So yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So the muscles grow. You feel like it takes a toll on your health. It's not the wisest choice. Maybe. Who knows? That could
a toll
be
on your psyche.
Yeah, it's a toll on your psyche a little bit. And when it ends, they kind of like lower you to the ground. You can't really stand. You have to fall to your knees, just kind of catch your breath. And they say, in addition, we will help you along by teaching you a new way to make yourself unseen. And they start giving you memories of Nalik, specifically the Melodious, and you see him staring down this giant, gnarled, it almost looks like a bunch of thorns has been transformed into a fortress, and there's just swampland all around, and he just starts singing this song that is hauntingly beautiful, and these bullywugs that are at the front don't even notice as he passes on through as he's singing this song. So this is a new homebrew spell. We're going to show it right here for everybody. This is the Song of the Unseen, and it is a new variant on kind of a darkness-esque spell. So if you want to go ahead and read that off as well, you can.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Pretty much.
That's a song I'm singing.
Yep.
Okay. An action to cast requires concentration. A haunting melody drifts around you for the duration of the spell, murmuring and whispering, overlapping it without damaging the harmony. Any creature that can hear the melody begins to forget you are there, remembering only vague recollections of you until the song ends. I love that description. If you take no hostile action, the creatures must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC to notice you at all. If you take hostile actions against a creature on your turn, or if the creature makes this save, they can feel your presence but have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. For the duration of the spell, you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that can hear the song. A creature that is deafened is immune to this effect, and the spell ends if you enter an area where the silence spell has been cast. In addition, creatures that are immune to charm effects have advantage on saving throws to observe you.
And it's a second level spell, just like Darkness. It's only centered on you.
Right,
it's not only a self spell.
It's not a 15-foot radius.
Is it the same duration as Darkness?
Actually,
yes.
Yes.
If it's not listed there, it is, because I use the Darkness as the template.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is the congratulations, you beat me in D&D. Here's a new spell for you. No, you came to me and you were talking about Darkness because you wanted to get to Shadow and Moil because you don't want to affect your party members as much.
I could tell that it was just, and this is something. I mean, some plenty of commenters on some of my optimized videos have said, and frankly, never having played a character that relies on darkness all the time, never having experienced it firsthand, having played it firsthand now, I do realize how just, like, numerically, it can be great. It can also be very disruptive for the table. And Preston and then Torrey, like, have, like, blind fighting, which is great, but now, like, we're all kind of overpowered, and then, like, it sucks for Scott and for Dallin, and frankly, I think for the DM a lot of the times, you know what I mean?
Well, because it's either I have disadvantage on all attacks, or you feel like your build is completely falling apart because they have true sight.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay.
Or tremor sense.
Let's figure out, like, maybe there's a way to, I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
So that is the new compromise. It's the same. Basically, it uses whatever spell slots you can use for darkness. You can just use that in its place. And that's actually a spell available if you want to take a look at it on D&D Beyond. It's up in the homebrew. There's technically 3 versions of it, but
on that side?
I think you just need to find the latest one that I did. Just because I kept finding mistakes that I made, and I had to add the Bard class because I didn't add the Bard as a available caster class for something that has song in the title.
Nice.
So after this is done, the mist kind of fades around you, and everybody else looks back because they kind of just got ahead of Seredan a little bit. They started lagging behind. And you look back and you just see her on her knees, just looking nearly exhausted.
I throw the chain around her and then just start pulling her.
She's just like...
on your knees. No. Actually, I look back and go, it's just me, or does she look extra jacked today?
I mean, we did just fight.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just
doing push-ups.
She got a serious pump from that.
Exactly. It's just that post-workout.
No, so, like, that's okay? You guys are just like,
do you need water? No, like...
I guess, I'm just panting, like, on the ground and just... How long have I been gone? It felt like either moments or hours. I'm not sure which.
You didn't leave, you just fell back there.
Yeah.
I just was speaking with the choir.
It's kind of inconvenient when they do that.
Well, demigods will be demigods.
Hopefully it's not in the middle of a fight,
But this
we'll see.
Think about that.
This was a good.
I'm gonna kill you.
This was a good conversation. I think. Well, frankly, I feel better than I have in a long time. I look forward to speaking with Eve when we see her next. I hope she's all right.
Well, let's wrap up what we've got going on here at Lady Crester's place and meet Victor there.
Yes, of
and
course.
Then we can get back to Eve as soon as possible.
Right, Lady Crester, Victor. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let her know what we've accomplished.
Just waiting on you.
Right, sorry.
Chain.
And Sarah's kind of like feeling her muscles a little bit,
Like Spider-Man 2, looking in the mirror like...
Yeah.
Oh, I can see better now.
No, far worse.
Oh, far worse.
Wisdom is, or sight is based off wisdom.
My perception is worse. That's true.
Everyone knows that the older you get, the wiser you get, which means that your eyesight improves.
Oh, yeah, that's totally how it works, right?
But I'm sure that everything is going fine at Lady Crester's house. It should take you guys just a few minutes to get over there. You weren't too far away, and you'd been traveling for a little while. But yeah, let's go ahead and see how that's going. Victor.
Yes.
You're standing in the middle of the study / smoking room or whatever for Lady Crester's house. Lady Crester is standing on one side. She's got a bubble of orange magic up that is constantly flaring up, and she has her eyes look a little more sunken than usual, and she's got a few little black lines running through her face, or through her cheeks and everything, marring her perfect beauty otherwise. And standing across from her, giving you a knowing smirk that you know all too well, is Lyra Amber Eyes. She's got a long ponytail that kind of is tied up in the back, and she's got just kind of standard like leathers on. Not really like your standard like ninja skin tight leather, but more just like your padded, basically like good sneaking around assassin clothes.
Functional assassin leather.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah. And she's just
chaps.
And of course she's got
With the
chaps.
tassels.
Yep.
So
She does have chaps actually.
I don't remember.
And
She's from the Onyx Wing, right?
yeah, she's very clearly got the symbols of the Onyx Wing. The ring on her finger is Onyx, and she's got that knowing smirk on her face again.
She's got kunai. Oh no.
Yeah, and and there are probably about a dozen or so kunai that are stuck into various walls around the room. And I believe last time she said, Victor, it's good to see you again. Although I really didn't expect to see you again.
It's been some time. How have you been?
Busy.
I'm not sure if this is the right time to ask this.
No, I mean, she's not going anywhere. And you see that Lady Crestor is kind of like focusing on her spells at the moment. She's not really paying attention.
Is she okay?
Well, I mean, I am here to kill her. So hopefully she won't be okay for very much longer.
Well, you see, we have a problem then. I know that you must be... you're not here on personal vendetta, are you? Or...
No, I'm here on contract.
Well, I seem to be here on contract as well, and I'll show her my badge. You see, I am contracted to Lady Crestor here to help her with... there's some problems that have been happening.
I see. Well...
And, so we seem to be at ends here, you see.
So you're not giving up your claim to your contract? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'm afraid that it is not my call to do such a thing.
It would be really great if you could just give up your contract.
Well, yes.
And I'm gonna roll a guilt check here.
A guilt check.
He does still
What's
feel.
your
he does
plus
feel guilty.
to guilt?
He does feel guilty because of past experiences. But
You do owe me one.
I do, but I'm afraid that it would not be honorable to do so.
And her smirk falls and she says, so you want to call a Disputation of Wills?
Yes, this would probably be the best for both of us. My friends will be here soon. I would rather not get into a fight over this. You see, it's she is our patron, and she's in a way, part of our pseudo ring, if you will. It's a small family of people that I have.
Because you're not technically a member of the 8 Rings right now, I can just continue with my contract without any issue.
yes, that makes him really livid, but he's going to keep his cool, and
I very much would appreciate that, seeing as we have a little bit of a history, is perhaps there is something that I can give in exchange, in assurance that...
A favor for the disputation. I can see that.
And for the clearing of my debt to you.
Well, the clearing of the debt would be just letting me take care of her. It'd be really quick and easy. Your honor wouldn't be besmirched if you just give up your contract. You know our laws.
I do. But I cannot give her up, I'm sorry.
It's at this point that the rest of you have passed by poor... what is his
he's
name?
got a sock on
Oh,
his
yeah.
head. Mash.
Nash, yeah. Or Mash, yeah.
He's
Poor
just-
Mash is just standing there, blindfolded, at the gate. You see the guards that have been basically disabled, and as soon as you see them, and Victor not around, I'm assuming
We'd run.
Bow drawn,
We'd
running
run
in. I'm sure
Yeah.
the door's already open.
Yep.
Kill Mash.
Door's
while
already
you're
open.
I'll just smack him hard enough on the back of the head to knock him unconscious.
Yep,
so he's got
definitely. He's out like a light, especially with a thundering gauntlet. Slap. You run in. You see Percy is drooling on the ground from the poison that's put him to sleep. And you enter into the room to see Victor staring down a member of the Onyx wing.
And I will be like kind of, and Lyra, perhaps there might be something else that might be to benefit us both. I have found this dagger, but I do not know who it belongs to. And I'll bring out the blackthorn.
Sarah's gonna start like moving to position herself between like Lady Crester and.
As soon as you take a step into the room, 3 of the kunai come off the wall and just start like following you and like they won't move out of their position. Sure. So you can move into them if you'd like.
Okay, I'll just get close to them, I suppose.
So I guess we hear them coming in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
These are the friends you were talking about?
Yes. Hold on, everyone. This is someone I know from the 8 Rings.
Vicky, why is she trying to kill Lady Crester?
It seems she has a contract that is in direct opposition of ours. She does not do this for personal reasons.
I don't think Lady Crester cares too much about that.
Nevertheless, she is standing in our way of completing our task.
She is. We have, I think we might be coming to an understanding. Right?
And
Lyra?
she cocks her head to the side a little bit, and all of the kunai start like shaking around the room like they're ready to pull out. And then they all fly back behind her in kind of this almost like sudden spiral or sudden circle and just start like swirling around her. And she goes, "That's fair. That means that you have no right to protect her now either, Victor, until we get this settled."
Correct. I have no right.
But I do.
That's fine. I won't be interfering, and I won't be trying to kill her until this dispute is settled.
Is this who Ivan warned us about? Or at least warned Eve, and then Eve warned us?
I'm trying to remember.
Is that his name?
Fabio.
Fabio.
Yeah, Fabio. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
I just
I'm
call
trying
him
to remember
Fabio.
what
I don't remember his name. I swear it was Ivan.
The leader of the.
Yeah.
It's possible this.
Hold on. My notes, I had...
For some reason, I'm not remembering.
I have
The one
Ivan
that
as the
Torrey
prime
was
and Boris as the younger brother.
Talking
Ivan
to
Faust and
about
Boris.
being a good leader.
That's right.
That's what I have on my notes at least.
Yeah, I remember him talking because we asked him about if there's anybody on the 3rd ring. He said he thought he saw some people.
Well, and then he told Eve that at the thing that they've been contracted for something.
They were. She's not of that ring.
Yeah.
Oh,
Different
okay.
ring.
So yeah, that's the
Your
Lapis
rings are
ring.
confusing.
Yeah.
Your family
the
structure is
Lapis
messed
wing
up.
deals with protection, so they're probably contracted for some bodyguard.
And that's why
work.
when I walked in, I was like, "She is mine to protect."
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she says, "Yep, that's fine." And she sits down. She says, "I won't be doing anything to harm her, so we're all good here." Well, I mean, except for the other people trying to harm her. I can't control them.
And who are they?
And Lady Crester opens her eyes and she goes, You need to get to my attic immediately." And even more like black veins are starting to like form. "You need to save me."
Can we like get to her at this point?
No, she's still got the shield up.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to come with us, or do you want us to go there on our own?
I have to maintain the spell work here.
Right, let's go. Do we know the way to the attic?
You do now, as she implants it into your minds.
Okay.
Just with tendrils of orange
Start heading
energy.
up to
Yep.
the attic.
So I guess I'm standing off with.
That's
Lyra.
up to you. However you want to do.
I don't want to leave. I mean, I'll trust her, but I also feel. What's the word? He feels conflicted. You're right. Like,
Vicky, we need your protection.
So,
Here's my boss.
this is kind of meta knowledge. Remember, Crester has a shield up, and so far she's been okay, and you guys are kind of in like this
right.
pseudo truce. You could always leave your one dagger down that gives you like sight in that area, unless you would be too far away to kind of tell what's going on. Maybe as like a warning thing.
Okay. I think I'll probably do. Would that be permissible by you to leave one behind?
It's up to your character what they want to do. Like
All right,
there's
well,
no
if he
DM
did,
thing.
that's
gonna
what
stop
I'm just
you.
saying. Like, if mechanically, if you're allowed, if that is allowed, then yes, I would.
Yeah, you can leave
I'll,
one.
just like,
Into the ground as you run by.
I trust you, and I know we have not spoken since that day, but I am truly sorry.
Victor,
leave the blackthorn.
I will trust, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay bonded to it, but I'm going to stab it.
Yeah, and she won't pick it up.
Table.
Like she will walk over to it and start examining it from all angles, but she's not going to pick it up because that would be incredibly bad, like rude.
We can talk more later. No. Go with everybody.
All right.
Yeah. So
Do you trust
I will.
her down
I will
there?
go right
Because I
into the attic.
Okay.
As soon as we get
So
there.
it is a long winding path. You come up to at least like 4 different doors that look like they were once magically sealed, and they've been broken open. They've been seared. You know, their magic has been dispelled or forced through. You do see the bodies of more skeletons and zombies and these other necromantic beings laying around, as well as half a dozen soldiers. They're wearing armor, but they're not like, they don't have any identifying marks on them. And a couple of them look similar to the armor that the Infinite Sight wear.
I'm starting
While
to
we're-
regret getting into business.
Right.
While we're walking, if you ask that question, then I'd say she has completed the breach in the chrysaling. I trust her more than most, despite us being at ends with
I'm
her.
gonna start singing my new song.
Okay.
Hello, darkness.
Anyone know where Sarah went?
Or no, I haven't made a check yet.
Yeah, you can all roll the initial wisdom.
I didn't think about that.
Who is
but
Sarah?
It doesn't say like creatures of your choice,
Yeah.
right?
It's creatures.
So it
What do I have to
says
save again?
Only got 12.
if you can hear the melody, you begin to forget that I am there, remembering only
Not exist, but that you're
only
there.
vague recollections
there.
of you until the song ends.
Yep.
So would you say that like affects their memory of me, or
No.
just okay?
It's more of
So it's
a
like-
like
can't-
I swear she was
where you
here.
are.
Where did
Like,
where did
we
Sarah
keep
go?
catching you out of the corner of your eye, but
Yeah.
It's a nerfed silence from
Like
Doctor Who.
when they're it's a nerf silence, exactly.
Yeah.
So what is your spell save DC?
I think I had one of those guns when I was a kid.
Yeah.
A nerf silence.
for Warlock.
Let's see, that would be 4 + 3, 7, 15.
15.
I definitely
So anybody
don't.
who rolled below a 15 on their wisdom saving throw, they can't.
I rolled
they
11.
can't
I have no
rolled a
idea.
14.
Wherever, well, wherever she's run off to, hopefully she finds her way
Wait,
to
damn it.
us.
Wait, no.
So did you guys all fail?
Yeah.
So what does this look like from my perspective?
So from your perspective, you start singing, and it's almost as if your notes are making little arcane distortions in the air. They're not like floating magic symbols, but they're definitely like the kind of the air current. You know, like when something's really hot and it's making the
So it's like the
heat waves.
molten.
Right.
Yeah, but it's they're in like various patterns for like musical notes and other musical arcane magic, and it just kind of surrounds you in this bubble of forget me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's not like I'm invisible. Like I'm
No.
looking at myself.
Yeah, you can see yourself.
But I like wave my hand in front of
And like you
these
can
guys
you
and-
can talk and you can say
Right.
something to one of your companions, and they will be like, right, of course, and then they'll turn away and they'll just kind of like go unfocused for a moment
Well-
as they forget.
Right.
We will all jump like the Dunder Mifflin, what's it called?
Oh. The meme where Dwight's like, oh, fuck.
yeah, the girl gets right. Isn't
No,
it?
this actually is perfect because from now on, when I say focus fire, they can all be like, I mean, we would have.
We would have, but we didn't hear you. We didn't
You
understand.
said something, and then I just forgot it immediately. I mean, you're the one that took the spell. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, Sari will actually kind of, it will sort of dawn on her a little bit what's happening, and she'll just giggle to herself a little.
We just hear this haunting,
Oh yeah.
disembodied giggle, and
Lady
every one of
Crusher's
us
house. Lady Crusher's house.
I hate this place.
His house is really haunted. I don't know.
I wonder how many wives she has under her control.
So you continue on your way. Again, it's just carnage and magical destruction. And
follow
you
the
get
carnage.
to this large room that has kind of a bunch of crates and boxes around it. It almost looks like just this old abandoned storage room that is long forgotten because everything's full of
Diplomatic.
dust and I'm assuming we're just barreling in. Is that right?
Yeah,
Except for
I'm
me?
just gonna run in.
Okay.
Yep.
You too. Take one of these, and I'll give them 2 of the daggers that have like a little bit of material at
Defensive?
the end, and just have them like slide it into your belt loop for me. And they're in defensive. I won't give them to you because I don't know.
Yeah, Sari is like holding her hand
What is
up.
Sarah? Where did she go? I don't know.
You're like singing. Give one to me. I'm over here.
Oh yes, Sarah. Here you go. And, wait, where did my knife go?
So you come around the corner and you see there are 3 more of these soldiers kind of standing watch, and they'll immediately like start drawing their their blades, their longswords, and pulling out their shields as you start approaching. There are three other figures in the room if you count the third one, which we'll get to in a moment. The first figure is a large half-dragon, a red half-dragon.
What, in an attic?
Well, a half-dragon as in, like, dragonborn size.
Okay.
Half dragons are technically like a half or a dragonborn.
Gotcha. I was like in my head. I was like, this is like a giant drake or something.
Like a young dragon.
Not quite. Yeah.
Okay. It's a mansion.
And he's in kind of that full plate or scale mail. I can't remember what does he wear. Plate. He wears plate. He's wearing like full plate armor, and he's kind of standing watch over this other caster who definitely reminds you of the Infinite Sight, if not for the medallion of the Infinite Sight on his, then for all of the like golden magic that surrounds him as he stares at this third figure. And you can see behind what appears to be 3 destroyed magic rings and 5 active magic rings.
Like
in
rings
circles, like ring
like
circles of
on
magic.
the ground.
Circles on the
Yeah.
ground.
Okay.
Is this porcelain statue of Lady Crestor. And it looks a little weathered with age, but it is still holding strong.
So it's a portrait of Dorian Gray, but in a statue.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, a little
freaking
bit.
me out.
So sorry, just to make sure I understand. It's like there's like 10 rings, and they're all.
There's 8 actually.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly enough, there are 8 magic circles.
So it's like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
Yep.
there's like
And they're all like-
how many left?
There's 5 left.
Okay.
Yep. And
So
it looks.
3
And
of
as
them.
you actually come around the corner, he snaps his finger and finishes casting a spell, and his magic rips through one of the magic rings, and now there's 4.
I'm
She's
gonna
running out of tower light.
throw my chain at him.
Okay, we're actually going to go ahead and get into combat
Roll
and start.
initiative.
So if that's definitely what you want to do,
Yep.
so go ahead and roll initiative, and
Alright.
we'll be right back after we set everything up. All right, let's go ahead and reveal the battle map and roll initiative here.
I rolled
I rolled.
Okay, Seredan,
21.
21.
Nice.
Bolt,
10.
10. Eve isn't here. Ezra
11.
and Victor.
20.
Where's Victor? He's up here.
Did you put him with a W?
No, it's just, he was up at the top above where I was scrolled to.
Every time I write down notes, if it's I don't know if it's ring or wing, so I just put Ving.
If it works, it works.
Okay. So, as you can see here, you've got kind of an attic area. You've got the soldiers in front, that mage behind working on those last 4 shields, the dragonborn or half-dragon veteran standing nearby, and Seredan, and nobody really notices you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You haven't. Well, actually, let me roll some wisdom saves
Sure.
really quick.
Against 15.
It looks like the half-dragon is noticing you.
Okay.
The wizard is not paying attention to anything, so he just automatically failed. But the soldiers don't seem to notice you. But that half-dragon is tracking you and Bolt at the same time. Like he's definitely like.
Okay.
His eyes are like.
It's
Like
a
a lizard?
chameleon dragon.
He's a chameleon. Yeah, he's a half chameleon.
Half chameleon,
half-dragon.
half dragon.
Okay.
So as far as everything goes, just so you guys know, the soldiers have long swords and shields equipped. The half-dragon has a greatsword, kind of this wicked-looking greatsword. One of those ones with probably the that little like curve on the tip. Yeah. You know the one. Yeah. And then the mage is a mage.
So his eyes are going, pick one. Pick one. Like Moana.
Yeah.
All right. What does Sarah want to do? I'm a little nervous about that mage back there, so I think she's actually gonna try and slip past 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30
Okay.
here, and make some attacks on
Her pose
the
is
mage.
perfect for being like invisible. She's just like, hey.
So you're not going to make that with advantage because the Dragonborn is going to use his reaction to do a rush in and defend.
Oh, okay.
Use his ability.
Okay, so is
He's
he
going to try and block and.
like
Yep.
this?
Yep.
Okay.
So go ahead and just roll the basic attack.
Okay.
Do you get an attack him when he comes in your space?
Yes, actually. Thank you. That's true. I would. A reaction attack.
A
react to
Yeah,
react?
I suppose. Yeah.
Okay.
React.
So
I activate
that's a
my
crit.
trap card. Ooh.
Yes.
Nice.
So I screw it. I'm gonna unload.
Dump it in. Dump it in.
Smite.
I wasn't planning on doing this, but
Dump it in. Dump it in.
why not?
Awake.
Yeah. So I'm going to use my Eldritch Smite.
Okay.
Once per turn. I only have one other spell slot, so anyway. Hope I don't
Did you
regret
use your
this.
other spell slot for?
Yeah. So
For
I'm
your
out of spell slots,
yeah.
is what I'm saying. Come on. Stop rolling. I don't want to roll. I'm just trying to mark that I... Okay. Anyway. Okay, so... Help me remember. 10 plus... 24.
34.
So... 34... heck, I'll throw in my epic die too. Let's see if we can take this guy
That's
out. This is
all
what my
slashing
character
so
was
far?
built for. So
Slashing
40.
so far?
So 40. Yeah.
40 so far.
40.
Slashing?
I don't know.
I'm
asking these questions.
It doesn't matter, Cory. Does it matter if I keep track of this?
No, you don't have to keep track of the damage type
Okay,
for this.
got it.
Okay, so then it's so it's 3d8.
That was a good way to
and
meta.
a d10. 3d8, a d10, and a d6.
I know, but
That's all. Okay, so nice. Plus 8, what am I? Plus 5. So 33 plus what was the number?
40.
So 73 damage.
Okay. So this half dragon rushes in as you start approaching his his mage that he's contracted to defend, and he's bringing his greatsword already up, and Seredan, freshly infused with holy might from the Choir of the Crags, just slices the half dragon through the plate and in half.
Oh.
Awesome.
As he goes. And then another half dragon rushes in. No,
His brother.
Each half grows the other half.
I mean,
no. The
only if
top
it's
half
talking
gets
about.
spider legs for a little while, which is kind of weird.
And the
Nobody
bottom
likes it.
half gets more spider legs.
I hate this.
All right.
This house is creepy.
Now you,
That's awesome.
now you got him to his second form.
Okay. So now my question is on that was my reaction, right? On my turn, do I have advantage on the mage?
I would say you still do not have advantage
Still don't
because
have
he did
advantage.
his ability
Okay.
to basically
like
prevent
give
you
me
from-
disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first attack is a 20. I promise.
Seredan! She is
somebody
the
witness.
scion of vengeance.
Oh, by the way, I used that. Sorry.
Scion.
Okay.
But you don't have another
I do
Eldritch
not
Smite.
have another Eldritch Smite. So it's just, let's see. 10. Oh, I meant to put X-Blade's Curse on him, but too late. Okay, so that's 17 plus 5 is 22.
22 damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the first attack. The second is... If I would have put X-Blade's Curse on him, I would have crit.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Let's go
anyway, it's
Vegas.
a 27.
27
X
will
Blade's
hit.
Curse is a bonus action?
Yeah.
Dang it, that would have been
What's
awesome.
to say you can't do it
I
before?
mean, I don't know.
I will. He's already taken out a half dragon.
Kill him!
in turn
And
one.
then I just rolled minimum damage, so 6.
Okay.
6 damage, and then bonus action butt attack.
Yep.
Is a 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
For 6 damage.
6 damage.
Listen, Ezra.
You start wearing.
the dragon
and
guy
you start
in the
chipping
back.
down this
What
mage's
dragon
defenses. He's still. He's. Without his half dragon, he's going to be a little bit more involved in the fight than he probably ought to be. But yeah.
Ezra Bolt, get the half dragon
From our
and-
perspective, did a half dragon just fall, just magically rip it
Whoa,
apart?
what happened?
We're just like,
So now that Seredan is taking active actions, you can like you
I
can
notice that.
notice her more.
I like the idea that as you run past, like we catch like a flash, and all of a sudden you're like
You're just kind of like
over
here
there.
and then there.
Yeah.
It's almost like you almost
Like
feel
a strobe light or
ripple,
something.
and then you're
Yeah.
in like 3 different locations.
Like,
Yeah.
what's his name on League of Legends that has that teleport back and explosion?
Talon?
No, he's the magic kid with the time
The
chainsaw
card
thing.
Oh, I hate freaking.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name?
It's like that little.
Yeah. Anyway, I know what you're talking about.
And that's turn 1.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, like, the intent of this character was to be like round
Quick
1,
burst.
kill somebody.
Yeah.
Even though like it blows most of your resources, but like it tips the odds of the combat in your favor. And now from here on out, you're not going to be as strong, but like that's hopefully advantageous for your party.
I
Anyway,
like it. Oh, I like it.
that was awesome.
Victor, it is your
Very
turn.
well done. All right, well, I'll go.
Yep.
Never mind, he's good. I'm gonna go and step forward into the room. So 5, 10, and I'm gonna use my bonus action to throw out.
So you've got 3 daggers used right now. Keep
Yep,
that in mind.
I've got one on
one on
each of you.
Ezra and one on Bolt.
Yep.
And then the third
downstairs.
downstairs with Lyra.
Correct. So I've got these other ones. What I'm going to do is I'll throw out Sandman, Gnaw, kind of behind this guy.
Okay.
And then I'll use Cinder Hearth to make a ranged attack at the one in the middle.
Alrighty.
That's off out of the box.
Hey, pause for a sec. Do you want me to rotate that like kind of an angle so it's got a little bit better view, like the whole room?
Does that look better?
Yeah, that does look better.
So that anyone watching can
Okay.
see.
3/4.
Still there,
Or like
yeah.
a-
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
And whoa! The room
Star
tilts.
Trek!
Yeah.
Everyone go to the left.
Klingon attack.
17 hit.
Hopefully it's a bit better view. 17 misses as he brings up his shield and slams against it. Technically, the knife is out in the space, in his space, so make sure you mark that as well. So,
Okay. And that's my turn. I'll call
yeah,
out and
because
say,
you don't.
so if anyone here is from the third ring, I suggest you leave. I don't think any of you are because you all look unprofessional. You're-
Good help is so hard to find, as evidenced by the half dragon that is now one
By the-
quarter of a dragon.
And where is that damn Onyx assassin?
2 halves of a half dragon.
By the way, your quarter dragon is back here.
The top half is the dragon, the bottom half is human.
I hate to break it to you, but it seems he has died.
Oh boy, these soldiers are looking a little
They
weary.
start taking like pun damage.
Yep.
Anytime you
Like,
make a bad pun, they just get 10 HP.
But how scary, honestly, how scary it is it to fight a group of people that all they do is just quip the whole time? Like,
Yeah, because they're not afraid of
like
you.
yeah, they're not serious enough in the fight, and they're just like cracking jokes.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
like
Spider-Man.
the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
Spider-Man especially.
So the soldier that you attacked goes next. He is going to rush forward towards you and make a pair of attacks with his longsword.
On your left.
And the first attack is a 16 to hit.
Hits.
Okay.
I'll reduce the damage with the knife that's in your possession.
Okay.
The defensive.
Okay. And that's going to be
Calling back missed.
7 slashing damage minus whatever your...
1, 6.
Oh, actually,
six
I've
slash.
got a new fancy shield that I'm just gonna
The disruption.
flash out and
Okay.
block it.
So you take half that damage as...
What's reaction?
I was asleep when that happened, so I just like throw my hands up like, oh crap!
Yep, and then this Quicksilver shield comes out and like blocks the...
I just take the damage.
You just take
and
the
it, and it turns
You
into
take it as force, right?
takes it force.
Yeah.
So you
So
take 6 force damage.
This is the one that you had in bronze, right?
Yep, the
Yeah.
pariah shield. Yeah.
Very nice.
And then the second
Thank you.
attack is going to be a 15 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. And then you can only do that
Once it's
once
a reaction.
as a reaction. Yeah.
I've already burnt mine, so.
And then that's going to be 9 slashing damage.
Victor, watch out.
And then the second. What?
Sorry, I was distracted by the quarter dragon.
Did they really kill that guy in one round? Ezra, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot through the doorway at this guy here. And I am doing sharpshooter. So So that's crit.
Nice.
So it's like we're all
All right.
fighting, and you
I'm
find out.
checking
one-
all your dice after this.
He sees like the one
No,
like
he wants to see if they're weighted.
just an image of the dice floating in salt water as I'm like observing.
Spitting them.
Yep.
So it's going to be...
Except for their metals.
Yeah, that's not going to work so well.
it's like a called shot.
If it's salty enough, it'd just be solid salt at that point.
Ezra's got like a 1 by 1
not
inch
moving
like
at all.
gap between us, and he shoots this arrow, and we can feel like the fletching go past your face.
Oh yeah.
It would have cut my cheek, like in an anime or something, but since I'm made out of metal,
like metal.
it goes right off.
Makes that this.
Yeah, it goes.
The
bounces
arrowhead,
it off your cheek.
comes off and it just makes sparks.
Okay. Cool. So I'm
Archer's
gonna.
paradox or whatever.
So that's 26 damage, and then I'm gonna do my grasping arrow on this.
And that's 26 plus all your other bonus for sharpshooter, right?
Oh, 36. Sorry, thanks. Yeah, there's the whole reason I did that. And then I'm gonna do the grasping arrow on it. So a creature hit by the arrow takes an extra 2d6 poison damage, and is that critted as well, or is that because it?
Yeah, so
roll.
it's an extra 2d6 and then your roll.
So
on top
So
of it.
12 on top of that.
So 22 poison damage. Its speed is reduced by 10 feet, and it takes 2d6 slashing damage the first time on each of its turns that it moves 1 feet or more. And it's like wrapped in brambles. It lasts for 1 minute.
Okay. So you fire off this kind of arrow with this this time web that you're starting to learn how to manipulate more and more, and it slams into the soldier and just like bisects him.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in pieces. He's in chunks now.
Ooh, Final Destination
Final
style.
Final Destination style. Yep.
Nasty. Oh, sorry.
So
That's
he's
that
gone?
guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna step forward so I can get a better shot. I'm gonna shoot that guy in the green. That is really bad. That's not gonna hit. That was a 2.
Okay. Yeah, he easily.
The
ducks
ebb and
under
flow
it.
of the dice.
They give.
Take the first shot.
Give it, then they
He
take it.
sees his buddy just like,
Take it.
and then the other guy's like, "Oh, I'm out."
Okay, so in that case, that was 5. I will
roll.
move into the remnants. 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm gonna climb up on that.
You take the dagger.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and the dagger's
I mean, this is semantics, but give me an acrobatics check.
Sure. So that
Or athletics, I
is,
suppose.
that's a 15.
You're fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
You successfully hop up on the small table.
Just do the flip.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see you fall. I just wanted
Parkour.
worst Legolas ever.
You get up and your armor's too heavy. You hear the leg break and you fall off.
Yeah.
The table breaks.
Parkour.
As long as it's not your leg that breaks.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and rush here
Okay.
and then chain whip that guy.
All right. Roll your attack.
Oh, too bad force movement doesn't give you.
Now we tried that already.
I know. That'd be so awesome.
That is a 24.
24 will hit.
Nice. We're
Okay.
all having great first rounds so far.
So
Not all of
that's
us.
All the
that's
players.
5 damage.
5 damage.
Mm-hmm. And he's pulled 10 feet this way. And can't do any more actions or anything. But I... Yeah. I'm good.
Battlefield control.
Yeah, I just wanted to get him away from those
Yeah.
spell rings. Plus, that's actually a good position for Sari, because
Right. Now you
You're
can
still
step
in
between
range.
the two.
Is he restrained?
Sweet.
no, I don't think so. No. Yeah, I just pulled.
Did you only do 5 damage for your...
It's only 2d6.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, it's cantrip.
Yeah.
So
I just mean 2d6, like, usually they go
a 1 and a 4.
It would be a 7 on average.
I always forget this, so I always turn to you. Remind me on spellcasting rules here, as far as, like, multiple spells at a turn.
So if you cast a spell as a bonus action,
Mm-hmm.
period.
Only other
Doesn't
action.
matter if it's a cantrip, if it's
Yeah.
a spell slot, doesn't matter. If you cast a spell as a bonus action, the only other spell you can cast that turn is a cantrip with a casting time of 1 action.
Stupid rule.
You're right. Monsters don't follow that rule.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, what we're going to do here, first of all, it's actually the soldier on the left eye patch. I'm calling him my left, I guess.
Lie
Ish.
patch.
Yeah.
Light patch.
He is going to turn around and try and slash at Bolt twice. First one is a 23 to hit
Yes.
for 5 damage. What was it?
5.
5. Yep. And the second one is an 18.
That misses.
Okay. So, yep, just kind of slashes along your back until you can bring your shield around.
I just go, why you little? Come here, you.
I'm sorry. And then the other one is going to rush Victor. 2 attacks. An 8.
Miss.
And an 8. Wow.
Miss.
Same thing each time.
So,
Yeah, you're dancing and weaving. You're full on in knife dancer mode now. Your blades are spinning around you, deflecting and just gently guiding the blade away from where it would hit you. And then we go to the mage. And the mage is going to... He's going to snarl at... Bolt. And point his finger at you and he says, "Decay away, construct."
Uh-oh.
Or rust, as it were, I suppose.
I'm already rusty.
I need you to make
Power
me
word rust.
a dexterity saving throw, please.
better than like a fireball that killed us all in one throw.
Oh no.
Oh, so bad.
3.
Oh no.
3?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take...
Just disintegration, right?
It's just
Well, guys, it was nice knowing you.
Nice to know you.
Can I interrupt the damage on its and turn it all into regular old force damage?
no. You take 21 necrotic damage.
Ow.
And you can see, he basically, as he points to you, his golden magic comes out and starts like rusting away at your armor. And as it flows backwards, you see it's healing his wounds.
He's stealing your life essence.
And you're not even... Well, you are alive. Warforged, you're alive.
He's aging you and de-aging himself. What a jerk.
What a jerk.
I've just sucked 4 years of your life.
Wait, I shouldn't take any. I'm essentially immortal, so. Oh no, he's become so powerful.
And that is his turn. So that is back up to the top of the round with Seredan.
Okay.
Help me
Sarah's
remember.
gonna take some
I
attacks.
keep forgetting for my thrown weapon thing. I'm supposed to get a +2 on my thrown weapon attack. On the damage.
Should I?
And I'm
Nah, not at this point.
I keep forgetting that.
You should just write it down.
That's a 23 to
I do
hit.
that right here.
23.
I write
Oh,
sharpshooter.
hold on.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt this.
Thrown.
After being hit by attack, I'm going to use. Let's see. I have my reaction back because I had my.
You took
You
your
had your
turn.
turn.
So I'm gonna use my new infusion, the radiant weapon,
Oh.
and he has to make a Constitution saving throw against my spell save DC. So 15, I believe.
Is that a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah.
He fails.
He is blind.
Oh, okay.
He is blind until. So that was one of the 3 charges.
Okay.
Until the end of his next turn.
Now, is that when he makes an attack against you or just deals damage?
After a weapon has hit.
Okay, so this wasn't a weapon.
Oh, sorry, not a weapon. As a reaction. Immediately after being hit by an attack.
Hit by an attack.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. Does making you make a saving throw on a spell require you to...
Blinded, by the way.
Or does that count as being hit by an attack? Thoughts?
Right. I mean, technically,
I don't think so,
the
because
way
a save is a save and an attack is an
Yeah.
attack.
Oh, I forgot it was a.
It was a saving throw. It was an
And
attack.
I hate to be the guy rooting against our own team.
Never mind then.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Ugh.
You got away with it. You got lucky this time.
Your fist starts shining and you're just like,
You
Seredan?
You could have done it on Patch.
That's
true.
true.
Because he hit you with the weapon.
I'll go ahead and let that happen.
Okay.
You blind his one eye.
I just reach back and go, boink!
Yep.
With the gauntlet.
No, you just pull out a patch and just stick it over the back.
A second eye patch.
Herdazian.
That's why I built the patch gun. And it just kind of.
I love it.
It's like
It's not a radiant weapon, it's a patch weapon.
That's it. Yeah, it just puts a blindfold. I got inspiration from
Yeah,
Victor.
there you go.
You shoot twice.
We've been talking a lot about blindfolds.
And buttresses.
And that just got creepy.
Blindfolds and Buttresses, a new D&D style RPG game coming to a store near you.
Go 50 shades darker.
A smutty romance novel. Blindfolds and buttresses.
Time for me to bust out all Haybar.
50
My
shades
smutty bard.
buttress.
23 hits.
23 hits.
So that's 13 damage.
13 damage.
Next attack is higher.
Okay.
For 14 damage.
Alrighty.
And butt action is higher still. For 8 damage.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, so the first hit shatters his shield. The second hit slices at his knees and brings him down. And he reaches out for a bolt to try and get one more blast of that enervation off, even though concentration might have been broken somewhere between the two. But you just full on take the butt of your glaive and with that little spike on it, drive it right into his temple.
All right.
I'm really violent tonight.
Yes.
I'm really violent tonight.
That's okay.
These violent delights.
They do have violent ends, that's for sure. Victor, it is your turn.
Okay, I have a question. So first thing I want to do is I want to come this way. I will take an opportunity attack. So 5, 10. What I want to try and do is
14 to hit.
14 does not hit. So I kind of duck and roll out of the way. But what I wanted to try and do is, in like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type movies where when somebody attacks or swings and then they use the fabric on the end of their stuff to restrain them in some form. I want to attempt to restrain. Would that be a strength? Or can I use a sleight of hand to try and get him? Basically, I'm trying to.
It basically would be a grapple.
So it'd just be the same as a grapple.
Yeah, it would just be a regular grapple. You're just flavoring it as using your knife with a ribbon.
So strength.
Yeah, because you'd be like you're holding on to it, trying to.
I'm gonna use my.
It's athletics.
It's athletics, yeah.
Right.
Athletics. So that's my -1. I'm gonna use my inspiration. So let's say 9 plus this. 10, 11, 10. That's okay. So yeah, I was basically I wanted to walk up to him and attempt to grapple him. It fails, and then I'm going to pull.
Well, he
have an advantage.
check.
Hold on. Does he have an advantage because he's blinded?
He has advantage because he's blinded. You use your inspiration.
Oh yeah, so I will use I'll use my inspiration now.
Yeah.
To try and get it a little higher. Gosh, same number. So that's a 9, 10, 11, 10. Because I have a -1 modifier.
He rolled a 13, so
13.
Yep. He manages to deflect your.
What are you doing? Stop!
What is this? Ribbons?
That's fine. So I'll just
It's see-through lace.
at the end of it, I'm gonna spin it into a rat tail and just slap him in the eye, and then I'm gonna pull back my other 3 and say bolt dodge. So he needs to make a dodge or dexterity save against 3.
Oh, yep.
And that's going to be just the 1d4 for each.
Does he have disadvantage on dex saves
If he's blind, probably.
3.
I don't.
He wouldn't be able to see it coming.
Blinded. Status condition.
I've got blinded
I
right
know
now.
you have advantage on attacks against him, but I don't know.
So blinded attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. Blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight.
Ability check that requires sight.
Okay, so that's 2 failures and 1 success from the knives.
Okay, so the failure, I rolled a 1 on that one, so half is just 1.
Okay.
Or no, they don't take any
don't
damage.
take half
so
damage,
the first was 1 damage, and the other 2 were 2, so it's 4 total slashing.
4 total slashing damage.
Calling it back, and they'll just kind of come back around me.
I just turn slightly and then bounce him off the shield right into the guy. You just reflect him off.
Perfect.
First ribbons and now knives. What the heck is going on? Get this damn blindfold.
Victor's been teaching me about blindfolds and also using me as a backboard like a basketball hoop.
Do you care to dance? What I was trying to do is make it so he'd automatically fail his dex saves.
Yeah.
And then also give advantage to anyone else.
Makes sense.
But didn't work. That's it.
Ezra.
Okay, I'm gonna shift away from shooting the green guy and be a team player.
Okay.
Hit
So,
One Punch Man.
sharpshooter. A critical fail. So that sucks.
One arrow goes wide.
All right, I'll shoot another one. Oh,
Slams
and a 2.
into the magical shielding.
All right, this dice is done. New dice.
Yep.
It's
Okay, spended.
I can't.
Bolt.
He's blind. Oh wait,
Camera
you have
check.
advantage.
Oh.
He was blind.
So then a 1 and a 2 on my first one.
Yeah.
My second one would
Okay.
be. I'm not rolling it.
Don't you have element accuracy?
Oh my gosh, a 2.
Or
you do have elven accents.
Oh,
Still-
so that
still
would
advantage.
be part of that one. So 1, a 2, and a 2.
So now roll 3 more d20s.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
1, 1, 1.
15.
It's like-
Okay, so that is
Destiny says no.
18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Okay.
And that's with sharpshooter
That's
calculated in?
with yes.
That's funny.
Oh, out of the table, out of the box. So that will be 18 damage.
Yeah, right into the eye patch, and you
Right
take him out.
between the eye patches.
Just miss one of my.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, the first one definitely hits
four
that
arrows.
magical shielding and flares up around that.
It's the
porcelain
ribbons.
statue.
I'm like flashing the
ribbon, it
ribbons.
messed me up.
Ribbons. You shoot and I slap one of them out of the way on accident. Like, oh, sorry.
That's
So
it.
is he gone?
Yep.
Then?
So he's
That's
gone.
right.
All right.
Oh.
Cool.
Bolt.
Okay, I'm gonna move one there and Thunder Gauntlet.
Okay.
Ooh. 19 plus 7, 26.
26 will hit.
Cool.
Does that do AoE damage or single target?
A single target.
It just makes it so every other creature he tries to attack has
Uh,
Disadvantage.
he takes 9 damage, and yep, he's got disadvantage on all attacks.
and then you have another attack.
Oh yeah,
because you are-
that's right.
So you punch and he pulls back and he's got
Same
these
thing.
little taser like spears in him.
21.
21 will hit.
For 5.
So the first attack knocks the shield to the side, and then you just like uppercut and take him out.
Nice.
Into the barrels.
The soldiers were the fodder and needed to die in the first round, but you know. All right, so you are now in an attic with some dead bodies.
Should we hide the bodies?
No.
Should we?
I'm sure Lady Crester will reanimate them or something.
Oh, you're
Seems
right.
seems to be her MO.
Perhaps we should like line them up and maybe label them or something, or
Set them up like Weekend at Bernie's.
I think we ought to go find out if she's all right still.
To the other room.
Lady Crester, can you hear us from here? Does the
No,
anything
the statue-
respond? Nothing?
Nope. It looks like it's just a porcelain statue.
That's really creepy.
You
Let's get
almost
out
said
of here.
portrait
Portrait.
of the artist as a young man.
Yep.
Or picture of Dorian Gray.
All right, so
I just
back
want to run.
out-
I just want to run down the stairs.
back down past the carnage, down the stairs, past the altar, out the door,
Left by the dead bodies.
and you enter back into the study. Lyra is still there, just kind of idly twirling her kunai around her hand, and Lady Crestor has her eyes open and she's looking a lot more composed than before. The black marks that were showing up along her skin are fading away, and she says, "Looks like you were successful."
Were those men yours? I say, and pointing to Lyra.
Well, they hired me, but no, they don't belong to me.
Okay.
Nor do I belong to them.
I have not touched any of the loot. It's all yours, Lyra. Should you need to bring anything home to tell people their people are dead?
What I need, Victor, is I need for you to find a tribunal that we can go to, so we can settle this matter and get on with our
Or
business.
idea, you drop the contract, but we don't, and you die.
Your friends are adorable.
I don't know that we want to. You remember those butterflies? These guys train them for fun. I don't know that we want to piece them. I have to, like,
I'm out.
Do you mind if we ask who hired you?
You can ask all you want.
Okay, I'm asking.
And she stands up and she all of the kunai kind of attached to her in various places. It looks like they look like they're sheathed, but probably they're just floating under her power. And she says, "It was good seeing you, Victor. I'll have somebody track you down if I can find a tribunal before you."
I will probably contact the Third Ring. Is here in town also on contract. Perhaps they can help expedite.
Unfortunately, I think that the Third Ring wouldn't really be impartial. And she pointedly looks at your blindfold that has the symbol lit up on it. And she said, "We'll find one that is impartial to both of us, and I will let you know the location as soon as I do."
That sounds good. You know how to contact me.
And until then, I do recommend not letting people see you work on your contract. Not everybody's as forgiving as I am when it comes to you.
He feels a little bit sheepish, and
Thank you for
he's gonna try and come across as humble, or like humble in the sense of, you know, like he recognizes he did something wrong, but he's not like being naive about it. You know, like he understands.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And she walks out unless anybody does anything to stop her.
No.
Okay.
And please, Lyra, if you know of anyone who is, I'm looking for the bonded of this blade. I would like very much to either return it to them or to find its rightful home.
You said you found it abandoned?
We found it in actually in the Glitterbug. What's that place called?
Fortress of the... I got it in my notes.
Forest.
I got it way back.
I'm waiting. I want to see if somebody can remember.
Pancakes for breakfast.
Hollowben Sanctum.
Hollowben. We found it in Hollowben Sanctum when we were down. It was amongst the effects of these performance stuff. I'm not sure. There wasn't any other clues to who it might belong to, but after bonding with the blade to try and figure out who it belonged to, it spoke its name as Blackthorn.
And you said you found it in a box with performance objects?
Indeed, it was the masked Weeping Swordsman.
You'll want to talk to Garen.
Garen. Damasio. Garen.
Last I heard, he was in Salsport.
Thank you. Again, I am in your debt.
Keep that in mind the next time we meet. And she walks out. And Lady Crestor she's been spending this time collecting herself, and as soon as Lyra leaves, she drops the shield and it kind of just dissipates into the air, and she says, I owe you all. You saved my life.
Perhaps you can explain what was going on in the attic.
It seems like the Infinite Sight was making a move against me and trying to attack the object which keeps me alive and young.
How did you come across this object? Was it
I
something you
made
created?
it. Yes.
Impressive.
It took a long time.
How many Horcruxes do you have?
Just the one. As far as you know.
Oh, I brought you a gift. I forgot.
And I'll even go. I'm gonna drag.
Right, yeah, I want to, spill the beans about
Yeah, everything that
we've-
happened, the bust.
Yeah,
That's
the chowder.
interesting news. And they were using a Greenwood warehouse, you say?
Yes.
Right.
They had a secret vault built into it,
Excellent.
and the three were captured in some sort of
Crystal.
stasis crystal of sorts.
And we messed up and broke it, and then they got old.
Well, but they
they fixed it.
They
One of
were
them
restored
It was like 10 years.
by the Arcana.
Yeah, it was definitely time.
I
Magic.
have heard of these stasis crystals before. They siphon the time energy, as it were, the chronal energy of a specific person.
Mm-hmm.
It usually ages them slowly over the course of their lifetime, but it provides energy for more powerful chronergy spells.
They claimed they were using it to gain power for something big.
Is there any some people give more power than others? Is there a something that we might be able to see where their next move might be toward?
The stasis crystals don't really give more or less power depending on who you are. It's more of a just constant siphon.
So
I suppose
young or old, or
I
doesn't
suppose
matter?
younger people in crystals would last longer than the old. Was there anything else in the warehouse that was of particular interest?
Well, there's this guy. I don't know if you know him. And I'll throw the unconscious body of the dwarf.
And she kind of nudges him with a foot and said, I'm afraid not. He looks
He goes
pretty simple.
goes by the name of Mesh. I kind of told him that I would get him out of Dodge. If you want to employ him, he is looking for a place to lie low.
He's a member of the Infinite Sight?
Not anymore. You could probably talk him out of it, I'm sure.
He could be a
It's not
valuable
difficult.
double agent for you.
I will look into it.
There was one of those big beetle scarab thingies. They were in there.
They're watchdogs.
Tried to kill us. I did find this, and I pull out the potion.
Oh yeah, the timeless
Like
potion.
the glitter.
Oh yeah, Goldschlager.
I don't think there was anything else in there.
The pendants.
Pendants.
Oh,
But I'm going to keep
pendants.
that tucked away.
There was one other thing, and it was the location. There was a location written on the crates.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
That was the Ruby Oasis.
Ruby Oasis, yep.
Yes, the crate seemed to be shipped from the Ruby Oasis.
Well, that's a lead, I would say. If they're shipping from there, maybe you can find out if that's the point of origin or if they're coming from further abroad. I hope you don't mind a trip to the Ruby Oasis.
I've always wanted to go,
Same here.
although I'm a little worried about the rumors we've been hearing about the upcoming, well, I don't know if election is the right word, but the change in power. It seems that the Infinite Sight was employed by the Greenwoods to gain leverage, perhaps. They want power, obviously, and it looks like there may be some sort of coup, or at the very least, military disturbance.
Did when she went to visit the third ring, did she come back and tell us anything about that?
Yeah, she told
Yeah,
us.
she does. Okay.
Yep. I don't
So-
think anybody's really kept secrets.
So it also, that same kind of thing where
Yeah. I don't want to put things together that don't necessarily go together, but it seems that House Greenwood may have the support of the Infinite Sight to be put in power to perhaps enact laws that allow them to do the things they do.
We have heard they have been quite unhappy over the past couple power
Greenwoods,
changes.
right.
They have. Their house is... It's not one of the strongest of the houses. Watching the roads outside of Terabon isn't really lucrative, as one might imagine.
They're not doing a very good job of it either.
I suspect that they've been pulling their forces back to the city as of late, if your coup idea is correct.
it seems they're also.
You mean correct?
Did she tell us? I can't remember. Did she tell us where the
She giggles.
the third ring? What did she tell? When I say she, I'm referring to Torrey and Eve. Did she tell us who the third ring was working for?
Mm-mm.
He didn't say it was just.
Yep, he
contract.
said that that's what they were here for. Was
Well, it seems
contract
that
work.
they obviously the Infinite Sight has enough leverage to contract in some way. It seems with the Onyx Wing, but the third Wing's also here on duty. So I'm afraid there's I say this because there's a lot of conflict of interest right here for me personally.
Does your wing ring thing, do they ever put any thought behind the contracts, or do they just blindly accept any contract?
Well, I usually accept if there's enough money behind it, but they probably think a lot more than I do.
Because it seems that it would be very dishonorable to align with the Infinite Sight, regardless
Unless
of
they
contract.
don't know what we know. It could be for them. They could just be another. We don't. They have some of the wings will look very deep into information, but they sometimes don't share that with others.
I suspect maybe somebody is corrupt in your ring thing.
Victor's slightly offended.
I don't mean
say that because you said it in the character voice.
He'll. Yeah,
I'm so offended.
I'm speaking in the third person.
Are you saying that they are without honor, or that they perhaps are
maybe misled or
I can accept that.
against their will, or perhaps without honor?
Victor's slightly more upset with you.
Well, it's not like they're the Tushan or anything.
We are on bad terms.
Fun,
We are no longer friends.
Fun banter aside, the information that you've provided, as well as the witness, and she waves down at Mash, who's drooling on the floor, will be able to take us a long way into bringing the Greenwood House to justice. If they've been working with the Infinite Sight and Chronergy, it'll be really easy to get the Arcanum involved.
It seems that when, because we came back and we told her about Braff, right? That he recognized the symbol and he was going, okay. So,
Yeah.
never mind.
Well, off to the resort.
It's a long, long
You might
way.
need to pick up your friend first.
Of course.
Do you notice Eve's absence?
Of course, she's been, helping with the aftermath of the battle there at the warehouse.
Before we go,
Tending to the wounded.
do we need to stick around to see what's going to happen with the new elections? I guess that's what we're going to call them, right? Elections.
I think we'll be all right. I think with the added presence of the Third Ring and the Arcanum getting involved finally, I think we should be able to quash any sort of rebellion that House Greenwood manages. My task to you is this: finding out where these items came from and tracking down the nest of the Infinite Sight and seeing what's there. And of course, as your reward for your good deeds and for saving me, your trip to the Ruby Oasis will be 100% covered by me.
Excellent.
Which is going to be a lot, but I can handle it for those who saved my life.
Find the items that find the origin of the items that were in the crates, and more information about the Infinite Sight and what
Yeah,
their
see if you
dealings
can basically root out their nest
Was
and
there-
eliminate it.
Was there anything else on the crate other than just like from Rubio's? Like, was there like a shipping stamp so we like know the warehouse
An
it came
address.
from? So we're not just like, okay, we're at the Ruby Oasis.
So
Now
the
we're
Ruby
like-
Oasis isn't really like a big
not a
city.
big
Like
city.
it's not a sprawling
Okay.
city.
Yeah.
It's sort of, there's a little bit of a port there. So that was the last location that it was. So there may be a few warehouses there, but you can.
So it's
Colby's
not like
Colby's
we're
not
going
wrong,
into
it's-
Terrebonne and then just being like,
yeah.
Colby's not wrong. It's basically like a pretty large resort. Right?
We're not going to run into
But
any
not a whole
Shan
town.
Chan, right?
So what?
We're going to run into any Shan Chan.
I have no idea what that is. So maybe.
Wheel of Time.
It's Wheel of Time.
Second book.
Right. Well, excellent. I was a little worried that we were going to have to wait for Kiss Kiss to give us a ride.
I do recommend finding an airship.
Okay. Do we just tell them that send the invoice to you?
Yes.
Right. We have we have our little like symbols. We can-
And I believe Eve,
No.
her ring has
the lavender.
Yes.
the communication stuff.
That should be sufficient, I hope.
Yes, of course. And
Well-
I do hope that, Victor, you get your matter settled before any more contracts come my way.
I was not aware there was other contracts out, so I will definitely resolve them.
Excellent. And how exactly does that work, if you don't mind me asking, as a curious party?
Well, essentially, if there is a conflict between the rings, to avoid a outright civil war between each other, a tribunal is called, and a third party within the rings will come and decide which of the contracts will be nullified.
Do you know what type of factors go into deciding that?
It depends on who is the person running the investigation, but I believe it would be, is the intent honorable? Is the organization something that we want to be associated with in the public eye?
we do not want to come across more as heretics as many people think we are, and more align ourselves with the common good, depending on the prime that is at the apex.
Do you get to provide evidence or testimony? Because clearly...
It has been some time. I've not sat through one myself. I've seen the effects of them happening, and the expectation is that at the end of it, the final verdict comes, and you're not to question it. So should it come not in my favor, I would find that
corruption.
That I might not be able to directly defend you, my lady, and this grieves my heart to say such, but I hope that they will see a reason that we are on the side of justice.
Well, I do hope that you manage to have this come out in your favor then.
Yes, do I. I want to keep my my honors even, as it would.
Of course. Feel free. I will have a care package of sorts waiting for you tomorrow morning, if you give me a bit of time to prepare it.
You're most gracious.
Sounds good. We spend one last night here then? Leave first thing, I suppose we ought to secure passage on a ship. Could we, be resting or take a short rest while
this would be a short rest.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. This conversation's been kind of meandering enough.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to go start a tavern fight? Start a tavern brawl with before we leave?
You never know. Okay.
Victor, why can't you just declare a duel against your friend and
It's
resolve it?
somewhat complicated. She's actually not, I wouldn't say a friend as much as an associate that when I was going through my chrysaling, she was one of the people in the very final act that kind of put the nail in the coffin for my stupidity, I guess. I was in over my head, the combatants that were there in the arena, and she helped me. We had a temporary alliance, if you would, because there were others that were teaming up against people to survive to the end of this chrysaling. And she thought that I had fallen off, that I was out of the game, and so at the very end, when she had thought she had won, she stepped out of the ring, which meant since I was still there, I won by default. And she was very angry at this, and I got a little, what's the word, I got a little prideful. I let it go to my head a little too quickly, which led to me making the decision to open all the cages, and here we are now. I feel a little indebted to her because we were on the same side, if you will, and I felt like I betrayed her in some way.
Well, I propose we look for passage. See what Eve's up to.
Agreed.
And get ready to embark. I'm excited for the journey.
Never been to the Oasis.
Nor have I.
It should take us about 20 to 25 days to get there direct from Terrebonne, if I remember correctly.
That would be by boat, I think. Are you counting?
I was counting that was by airship.
Airship?
Because boat would go down the Termecules, around the beacon, and then up.
Yeah.
Whereas the airship will go straight across.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit shorter.
Was it 24?
Because it was like
it took us
30 days
just to
on
go
the
to
road
Terrebonne.
from
but we were
6
walking.
Hills.
That was walking. That's
true.
You have a faster
Right.
pace with an airship too.
That's
So
very true.
That's constant.
because it was
So
only
maybe
gonna
it's-
be, it was only going to be like 10 days.
Oh, maybe it
for
would only be
an
like
airship,
10 then,
so
yeah.
it shouldn't be that nearly
Okay.
that long. So
Because the airship doesn't have to rest.
If I remember correctly, it should only be days. We'll edit it in later. 7.
I would, before we leave, if I can, I want to see if I can find a way to communicate with my
I want to look. I guess I'm seeing if there's a way I can find a trained butterfly or something that I can use to communicate with what's her face in the event that I find something that
I mean, the third ring would have those.
Okay.
If you
So
want
probably before we leave, I want to go visit them to see if I can acquire one, if they'd let me, even if it's a loner or whatever.
Sure. So you leave Lady Crestor's house. As you do, you see that the soldiers at the front are picking themselves back up slowly, and Percy's waking up, stretching out a bunch of tiny little legs, testing out his morphing abilities, as mimics are wont to do.
I give him a gentle pat on the head.
The eyes all like blink as your hand comes close. Yeah, it does.
Like your dog.
Like my dog.
Every time you put your
Every time you try and pet it,
It's like two of its
oh, you're just petting me. Okay.
two of its legs are still asleep, so when it tries to walk, it just
it just grows 2 more legs. But every leg on that side is still asleep, so it just doesn't work.
They're not like just all spider legs though. There's like an octopus tentacle. There's like a bounder foot. There's one human leg. Just one. Yeah.
Human leg.
a little peg leg.
He's just practicing.
Yeah.
He's young.
He's young.
Disgusting. Put that creature out of its misery. That would be the honorable thing.
All right, so you guys head back to the Satin Cat. Eve is already in bed. She turned in after making sure that... What's her name? What was that? Freya.
Fenry.
No, Fenry, yeah. She made sure that Fenry got back to the Drury Lady, safe and sound.
Is Gwen still? Gwen went back to her. Not Gwen. Was it Gwen?
Helga.
Helga.
Sure.
Helga. She went back to her place, right?
Yeah, so she
Actually,
came
no,
and
Helga
told
is
us
waiting
about.
for you.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sarah would have like knocked on Eve's door, like she wanted to talk to her, but like really softly, and like she didn't answer.
She's like
so
snoring.
She just,
It's the
walks away.
Anna Elsa has got like her hair in her mouth.
You hear a deep rumbling from the door, and you know that it's
It's the bounder.
Darian is
Darian.
leaning up against the door so nobody can come in. But when you do get back, Helga is there, and she rushes forward and she just grabs Ezra's hands and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you did."
It wasn't me. It
We
was all of us.
We found your friend, right?
Yes, you did.
She's okay.
Yep, and everyone remembers her now.
Is she older?
No, she looks
good.
as young and vibrant as ever.
Good, there was some worry about.
Right.
Things went a little weird.
Oops.
Right, of course. But I wanted to thank you and give you a reward. And she reaches into a small
Ooh la
pouch,
la.
and she pulls out a medallion. And the medallion has a.
It's a
looks
massage punch pass.
it looks like it's got like one of those bobby rolls on it for thread.
Okay.
But instead of the needle that you might like see sticking out of it at the same time, it is a rapier. And she says, present this at any inn or any sort of parlor that might have those of my ilk, and ask a favor, and if it's within their power, they'll help you.
That's a nice to have.
Yeah. This is like John Wick. There's like a hotel or like a conglomerate of spy hotels.
I would not flash that around willy-nilly, though. On this.
Willy nilly is the creepy guy that hangs around the Drury Lady.
Yeah, please
Don't show Willy.
flash it.
Please don't show Willy.
Yeah.
Don't flash
Don't touch
Billy.
Good advice.
And then she says, and then of course, if you ever need another massage, we are always happy to have it.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Put us to good use to stop the infinite sight.
I hope so. And she just kind of like nods to everybody goodnight and heads out. Okay.
Be safe.
And Jen just says, well, does anyone want dinner?
I'm starving. Could you recommend by chance an airship that might be regularly heading toward the Ruby Oasis, preferably the most expensive one available?
I mean, you can go to the airship docks and ask around. I mean, I don't have a particular one. I don't really get to the docks that much, unfortunately.
What about you, Bolt? You've been around.
I know where the docks are. We can. I don't particularly have any contacts there, but I'm sure we can find someone.
Will Tarian be joining us for dinner?
Darian is sleeping.
Tarian.
Oh.
Yes. Well, no.
There's no V in that one.
He's taking care of the kids tonight, so I'm watching the inn.
All right. Yeah. Just keep an eye on it.
I always do. And she goes over and she opens up the giant stew pot that's always sitting in the inn, but never seems to be like dirty. It always looks very clean.
Is it dwarf stew?
Stew pot of prestidigitation.
That's that dwarf pot that we had, and it was like dwarf bones or whatever.
Oh yeah. Gosh. They're like, it's Bounder stew, so it's some nice rabbit stew.
Good thing Eve's not here for us.
Technically, I don't know if Darian is an actual Bounder. Sari says as she's like eating her stew. Is an actual Bounder, or she's more like some sort of fey or celestial conjuration, I think.
Right.
But still, we better not tell Eve.
Yeah. This brings up good point. I noticed that when we got in the battle, you kind of chickened out and disappeared. What did you freeze in battle? What was going on
Did you
there?
see the half-dragon that was then suddenly in half?
Yeah, he probably touched something he shouldn't.
That was me.
Oh. No.
I think I saw.
He
part
touched
of it,
you? Are you okay? Do you need to talk about
He
it?
tried to.
Usually you go, and everything goes dark, but...
Well, you know, Vicky, I'm glad you asked, actually. Because, if you recall, when we were walking on the road and suddenly my arms got bigger and I looked like I was out of breath.
I wasn't there,
were
but
there.
yes.
Ah, right, sorry.
You were fighting.
I'm always away from this.
Your
This is
weird
gonna give me
girlfriend.
FOMO.
Craggy and I had a bit of a chat, and I'm feeling much better now. I think there will be significantly less darkness about me going forward. Not to say that there won't be any, but perhaps a little less of the evil darkness and more of the comforting nighttime darkness.
Alright, I think that's good. Forgive me, but I think you're starting to rub off on evil little.
That's what I was worried about as well.
I thought you were rubbing off on Bolt. You got a little dark there.
With what? I don't remember.
Because at this point, you've seen the what happens to the bodies in the darkness. I've seen what happens, but has anyone else seen what happens to the bodies in the darkness?
Eve. Well, maybe.
No, the only fascinating thing to Bolt is the fact that all the loot gets vomited out of Craggy at the end.
I'll be happy to know that your patron won't try and turn me into a sandwich or something.
Well, that actually brings up something I wanted to ask you about. Because, anyway, to summarize, Craggy and I had a talk. He sort of took something from me, but gave me something in return. It turns out that when I die, I'm going to be sort of subsumed into the Choir of the Crags, apparently, which doesn't sound like too bad of afterlife, I suppose. But what I was wondering is, if I don't have this sort of larger darkness, I feel like you sort of benefited from that a little bit, since you could see and the enemies couldn't. Are you getting that blindfold off anytime soon?
It depends on who I impress. Should I be officially granted, what do you want to say, someone will allow me to become part of their ring? Then yes, in theory I could.
Do you think that this little fiasco that you're having here with Lydia,
it
Lyra?
Definitely. I'm already at ends with the Onyx ring in some ways, so I don't know that it will help that relationship.
Well, I don't imagine they'd be sponsoring you anyway, right? But this Third Wing group, could they adopt you somehow into the family?
You want Ivan to be your daddy.
No. I mean, he's pretty hot when he has his shirt off, but I don't know. Probably yes.
At least he sounds hot.
I would imagine that's why the shirt comes off, because he's really sweaty.
Precisely. That's what I mean. What are you talking about?
Well, anyway, it was just a thought.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and you guys have a nice dinner. Everybody can go to bed, except for Victor, I think, wanted to ride out to...
Yeah. I just want to go talk to the third.
Okay, so, Victor, you head out to the third ring. And they are... It's pretty late into the evening at this point, but they're still awake. They're having their evening meal, or they're winding down for the day. Okay. And nobody really stops you this time. Nobody asks for any sort of identification or anything like that.
I'll do respectful bows basically everyone I pass.
They'll bow back.
And anyone who's I can tell is a full nymph, I'll obviously get out of their way and impede.
Yeah. And do you approach anybody in particular? Are you approaching Ivan? Or?
I probably would go see if I could get an audience with Ivan or his mother.
Okay.
Or his brother, anyone who's just available there. Because I know last time we went, there was a bunch of those in their tent or near their tent or something. Yeah. So I'd probably go in that same vicinity just to see.
You can find Lenora first, and she pulls you aside and she says, "Did you have dinner already?"
Yes, Lenora, thank you. You're very gracious, but I just eaten. We were going to be leaving town soon, and I wanted to come and say goodbye and see if I could ask a favor if I am overstepping my bounds, please.
Of course, no problem.
Tell me.
Let me just take care of that damn dog.
They're the barking spiders.
You let him out?
Yeah, but I didn't... Oh, it's that dog. It's my dog.
Yeah. It's your noisy dog.
It's my noisy dog.
Of course, you can ask for a favor. That would be completely fine. What are you looking for?
Please, I find myself in need of some way to communicate with the 8 rings. I know that I am not accepted into your ranks, and I do not want to assume anything, but was hoping I might be able to either borrow or rent some form of communication, either one of the butterflies, or I ran into an old friend from the Onyx Wing. You recall when last time we ran into Lyra?
I'm afraid that Ivan was the one that was there at your christening.
Yes, sorry.
I wasn't in attendance. I was watching the younglings.
She's a friend, and we have had a Disputation of Wills come up.
Oh my.
And I need to be able to communicate. We are going to the Ruby of Aces, and I don't want to be without way of contacting.
Of course. If you want, I can have something arranged to be near there for you.
That would be more than I deserve. Thank you.
And I'll prostrate himself.
And she grabs your hands and she puts them down and she kind of stands you up straight. She says, "As far as I'm concerned, if Ivan saw fit to help you make a blade, your family, whether or not you belong to one of the wings or whether or not your exile continues, you'll have a place here. And I'll fight anyone who tells me otherwise."
You'll get a little choked up. Thank you. That means a lot. More than you know.
It's always good to have fresh blood. And I do remember your father, and he was as kind as they come.
Is a credit to the third wing. Or third ring.
And so are you.
Thank you.
I will go ahead and have something arranged, and it might just be outside the Ruby Oasis, but somebody should meet you there and let you know when the tribunal is set to convene.
Thank you. I very much appreciate all that you have done for me. You and your son and family have changed my life in ways I cannot express.
Keep moving forward, Victor. Don't ever slip back into your old ways.
I will do my best.
Now go.
Yes.
You got better things to do than talk with an old
And he'll out the door.
Yeah. And she'll sit right down and start writing out a nice little scroll to send off.
He'll do when he thinks no one's looking, he'll do that. Yeah. Whatever, and then kind of recompose himself and then go back to.
Okay, perfect. So you guys have a wonderful night's rest. The next morning,
a long night's rest.
A long night's rest. Yes.
All right.
And the next morning, you all wake up, and there is, along with breakfast, Janjin has set a package on your table that is from House Crestor. Inside, there is a total of 500 gold, so 100 gold each,
Sweet.
just as a small token of her thanks, as well as a bow.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And it's pretty easy to identify. She's kind of left instructions on what the bow is capable of. And this is a bow known as Splinter Shot. It is a magic bow, so your attacks are magical now, whether or not you use the +1 ammunition. Also, how low were you on your +1 ammunition?
I haven't been using those.
Well, what was your total that you had?
I think I had 17.
17?
Yeah.
Okay. You now have 20. She basically refilled your
Just
+1.
refilled.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this short bow can cause an arrow to shatter and unleash a devastating spray of magical shrapnel. You can say the weapon's command word as an action, and I'll let you come up with the command word, to destroy one non-magical arrow and send splintering shards of arcane energy out in front of you. When you do, creatures within a 15-foot cone must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw, and on a failed save, an affected creature takes 2d6 magical piercing damage, or 3d6 if they were within 5 feet of you.
Bow checks.
Like a little shotgun.
Yeah. We'll show that on the screen as we were saying it, obviously, but it's probably gone by now. Sorry. If you missed it, go back 30 seconds.
So the command word's got to be hasta la vista.
And then we'll get you a copy of that as like a card so that you can see. So that is your reward.
Splinter Shot.
Nice.
It shoots ninja rats.
The party.
So you guys spend the day. Are you all going down to the docks to take a look, or is it just one of you?
I mean, I would say
Oh, I had
Probably-
15. So she's topping me off then.
I would say the best strategy would be for us all to go and find like a ship as soon as we can, basically, like the nicest one we can find that's leaving soon, and
Okay.
ideally get on and go. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
And have Eve probably like send a message to Kes being like, "Hey, we might see you soon." Or if you're still in Ruby Oasis.
Yeah. So Eve is gonna stay behind. You kind of leave her a note. She's still asleep when you guys wake up. It's not early, but it's a little odd that she's still resting. She's probably just had a long night, needed a break or something. Who knows? We'll find out, maybe. But you head down to the docks, and you start. And there's two parts of the dock. There's the port that has all the ships going in and out, and then there are these large kind of spires like the ones that you saw in Six Hills that you climbed up that have airships flowing in and out. Most of the traffic from these airships is heading to the northwest, which leads to Manaport, which basically is that floating city that only air traffic can go through for the most part. And you guys are just about to start looking for a captain when you hear this voice say, "Out of the way, please, move." And the crowd parts, and you see Hug coming down carrying two giant barrels. And Kes is in front of him, just kind of scurrying along. And he stops as he sees you, and he says, "There you are! Oh, Eve said you might be here. Yes, looking for a ship, Captain?"
Yes, in fact, we are.
Wonderful. Ruby Oasis is very nice. Yes. Been there a few times. Never been inside, though.
Well, perhaps you can this time.
I mean, it's expensive. Yes.
Can your ship, if you want to call it that, can it make it to the Ruby Oasis?
My ship
bit
can make it
nervous.
all around the world.
Have you made any upgrades recently?
Oh, yes. Very upgrades. And he points to the back, and you can
Does he point
see...
to Hug? Like,
Yeah.
I got a crew.
But he points to the back, and you see that on the back, he's replaced the propeller that was there with what appears to be a windmill propeller.
Okay.
Like, it looks like it was ripped off of a windmill and stuck to the back of it.
That means twice the movement of air, twice the speed. I get it.
Exactly.
The
Plus,
longer the rotation, the more
your
likely to
recommendation
fall.
is amazing. Hug has been absolutely incredible. Yes.
I figured he would be a good help for you.
And he leans forward and he says, "I didn't see any more infinite sight. I hope you don't mind that I left."
Hug, I think you have been been great. And I see you still have your lucky feather.
Yes, Hug protects it always.
The
That's good.
chakram suits you.
Oh, thank you.
Have you learned to... Perhaps I can show you a few things if you have not tested out things with it. Probably not on the ship.
I use
idea.
it to cut rope. Mostly for, I haven't been in combat in a while.
Tell you what, well, I will show you how to sharpen it properly.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Maybe after we arrive at the Ruby Oasis?
We won't throw it. We're just sharpening the stones. It's not that bad.
The less you're in combat, the better.
I have new tricks, though. Interesting, weird tricks, but new tricks.
Oh, well, you'll have to tell us all about them.
Stinking cloud.
I don't have a message, do I? Dang it. I'm kind of like pulling Ezra aside and being like,
Maybe we should get a different ship.
And while you're doing that, Bolt is
she's like
signing the contract.
she's pointing over at like this one that's like
It's
really
so
it's like all
nice.
like just like what's
The
word I'm
freaking
looking for?
Crestor's paying for
It's
it.
like
We want a nice
plush,
one.
yeah. It's like
The sails are
gilded,
perfect,
like gold trim,
Yeah, gold trim,
like everything.
The paint on the side that like is the name of the boat is very nice. It's an elegant name.
It's called We Will Pamper You.
I mean, I
The
know
yes, sir,
we're
that's
not
my baby.
supposed to split the party, but I bet they have tubs in every room.
Oh, and look at all the space. I mean,
If you want, I'm sure Kes could fill a barrel full of water for you.
Several barrels already full of water. We can get new water, though.
Wait, is
Straight from river.
this the guy that has the... I don't like his ship very much, do I?
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of
it's
adventure?
well, I like adventure.
I
just
can't
don't
see
like
any of the
dying
others.
on my adventure.
I can't see any of the others, so as long as... I mean, if the propeller makes it a smoother ride, I guess it's okay.
Well, to be fair, I'm sure that Evie would prefer to go on Keskes's ship than any other. So
What if
Remind me why we made her.
triple your rate because it's being paid for by a really rich person, and you can get nicer upgrades. Next time we get the tubs of our own. Yes.
Triple rate sounds good to me. Yes,
but we
yes.
will expect the highest quality provisions while we travel.
I would like.
Of course.
Do you have any charcuterie? That would be delicious.
Hug. Do you know what charcuterie is?
We're going to just get a giant barrel full of the gumbo.
And a cheese wheel.
Your charcuterie.
Just one big cheese wheel.
Hug just like shrugs one of the barrels on his shoulder. You can hear it sloshing. He goes, anchovies.
I'm already getting sick.
When are you planning on leaving?
As soon as possible.
Now.
We ought to go get Eve. Why don't I go see if she's awake?
I also need to go speak with Jan before we leave.
Well, Eve messaged me. That's why I found you. Yes, yes.
Excellent.
Well, if we're all splitting up, I will go find a shrine and give my last respects.
I'll come with you.
And are you going to go say bye to Helga?
I mean, never fall in love with the ladies of the night.
A shrine,
They
got
don't
it.
love you back. Her hands were magic. And we'll
worship.
leave it at that.
I mean, they really were. She's just like healing
That
word.
sounded like a couplet, like a nice rhyming couplet to a song. Never love the ladies of the night; they'll never love you back. Her hands were magic. We'll leave it at that.
It was. Perfect. It's a little bard peeking through.
Another one of an Ezra from a different timeline,
Yeah,
sneaking in a little bit.
Not in this campaign.
Bard of Glamour.
Well, when you're ready, the ship is there and we'll be waiting.
Excellent.
Oh, and while you're checking on him, I might have left that little badge with Janjan's husband. You might want to just ask him about it.
Which badge? The
The entry into the thing. I thought he might like it in some way, but he hasn't changed the way he's been moving, and I don't want him to get hurt over
I'll
a
ask.
stupid joke.
Okay. All right. So we've got two heading off to a shrine.
Yeah.
Probably like a Tushin.
Yeah, I mean, we saw
Warrior
the
shrine.
one on the road. Probably look for something like that. I can't remember what that one was. The Shrine of Tradition of Rivle.
Victor's gonna be a little passive aggressive. I'll warn you. About
Yeah,
like everything.
it's a shrine of what is it?
What was that thing's name? I wrote it down.
Floral nagging.
Milk is for babies, according to you on episode 10.
Yeah.
Floral nagging, yeah.
Floral nagging.
Yeah, floral nagging.
Well, he's not as honorable as some other gods, but
He's not my god, it's just... I just decided I'd like to go to the shrines. They're peaceful. I don't even really believe
so you
in
don't
gods.
sleep around with the ladies, but you're okay sleeping around with the gods, I mean.
Because they're not real. They can't do anything about it.
You be careful. You say things like you're coming into worship.
I,
now
like,
you say,
I can just hear these two like arguing as they're walking towards the thing.
it's just like little quibbling.
You're ruining my peace. I came here for peace.
All right,
Maybe I'll go to a different shrine.
They also fight like who's got more honor, the rings or the, or the
I'll-
Tushin,
I'll
you know?
Definitely the Tushin.
I'm sorry.
They're not the branch off.
I'll be quiet if that's what you want, and then I'll like take the whatever shadow song and just like making like a really annoying.
There are a couple like
The worst
other
sound in the world.
clerics that are like
It's like a
glaring at
mosquito.
you.
It's
Yeah.
like a mosquito sound, constantly.
It's just Dumb and Dumber where you're like, but with the knife.
But I'm going to go ahead and say that the shrines aren't nearly as peaceful after a few moments because as you guys arrive back at the inn, and you can see Eve sitting in the front room talking with Janjin idly while she's eating her breakfast, and the two of you settle into a shrine. Commotion starts happening, and followed by several loud explosions that rock the quiet streets of Terabon. And as you kind of start looking around to see like where this smoke and where these fires are coming from, you start seeing soldiers in House Greenwood garb marching down the streets. And we're going to go ahead and end as a riot basically breaks out. And we'll see what happens next.
We split the party. We're so dead.
We tried to tell Lady Crester.
We did.
Yeah, we have all the healers.
Definitely. So I will say that because of your efforts and your uncovering, this is not as big of a surprise as it otherwise ought to be, and there is not as much preparation time, so there won't be as coordinated as an attack as was originally planned. So don't think that your efforts were in vain.
wasted.
Mhm.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for joining us. We hope you had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful time, even if combat was a bit short tonight for some reason or another. But that's all right. If you
Hold on. Yep, his notes just say more bad guys.
The quarter dragon is a lot shorter.
starting higher levels early. We're gonna have to go more deadly
All right, I'm
encounters.
gonna have to get more Nova E then.
But until next time, we hope you have a wonderful evening, and go ahead and feel free to leave a comment and share this with your friends.
Smash that dinger.
Smash that dinger.
Ring his bell.
Sounds like the best fake hype guy for the YouTube channel.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Night.
Bye.